We've all heard stories about outer body experiences. The floating above your own body and seeing what's going on from a bird's eye view was unimaginable until it happened to me. This is my story. Let's go back in time. N.D.E. Have you had one? I'm talking about a near-death experience. 11 years ago, I had my own. It was summertime and it was hot in Northern California. On this specific day, I was invited to my best friend's daughter's birthday party. My best friend, her name is Seisha. Y'all remember that name because she's the same friend that helped me go and collect on my stolen taxes. So on this day, I had gotten up, I got dressed. I wore a long swing white dress with flowers imprinted down the side, a pair of sandals, and a beautiful burgundy flower that was in my hair just above my ear. I felt beautiful. The weather was gorgeous and I was ready to go have a good time. Now my oldest daughter, she was also going to go. At the time, she was in her early 20s and 5 months pregnant, expecting her first child. As we know, pregnant women sometimes move a little slower than other people, and the bottom line is that I got impatient. The party wasn't far from my home, and the weather was absolutely beautiful. Plus, I wanted to show off my dress, so I decided to walk to the party, which was probably less than a half mile. I told my daughter I would meet her there, and I walked out the door, y'all. The area where I lived was very scenic, so instead of taking the main street, I decided to take a popular walking trail that ended right where I needed to be, which was right behind Seisha's house. So I started walking. Everything was fine for the first few minutes. As I walked on the blackened concrete trail, I noticed it was getting considerably hotter and hotter. Now this walk should only take about 15 minutes to get to where I was going. Because of the heat, I decided to speed up. It was so hot. I remember feeling like I was in the desert. There are no trees on this walking trail. About 10 minutes in, my daughter called and asked me where I was. I told her I was coming through the trail and to meet me at the exit and have a bottle of water for me. I made it out of the trail and I emerged back onto the city street, just steps from my destination. Now my daughter, she had her car parked directly across the street from the trail. Now due to the traffic, she couldn't turn the car around to get me, so she got out and started to approach me, maybe 40 or 50 feet away. Now I saw the water bottle in my daughter's hand. I screamed and told her to throw it to me. I picked up the water bottle off the ground, opened it and poured it on my head, chest, and down my back. My daughter assisted me across the street to her car and I felt relieved. I thought I was fine. When I went inside the party, I said hello to everybody, said happy birthday to the baby, and my daughter gave her the gift that we had purchased. She had brought it in her car. I then excused myself to the backyard to put my legs in a swimming pool. I rubbed that water across my arms and my legs. It felt wonderful. I then got up and sat at the table inside of the garage with the rest of the adults. After a few minutes, I started to feel like I had to be on the ground, like I had to be low. I felt like I was being pulled, almost like a magnet or something. This was something that was out of my control. I couldn't fight it. I couldn't stop it. I was not in pain, but I felt as if something was literally pulling me down, almost like a suction. I had to get on the floor. I got down on my hands and knees with my head facing the ground. Even then, I was still being pulled like downward. I laid flat on the garage floor. I was still conscious. I heard a 911 call being made, and I felt several bottles of water being poured over my body. Then I passed out. My next memory was seeing the paramedics, but I also saw myself. I was laying on the ground. From my outer body, I saw the paramedics put me on a gurney and lift me up. I watched someone else pull my dress down past my knees, and the flower in my hair was adjusted. I saw all of this as if I were in the sky looking down. I felt so peaceful. I felt no pain. It was the most beautiful feeling that I have ever had. Truly unexplainable. I saw people crying, but still, I was okay with where I was. The feeling was incredible. It felt divine and peaceful. Now, my next memory is me hearing my daughter say, "Mama, please don't go. I don't know what to do with the baby." At that moment, my eyes opened and I was in the hospital. The doctor came in and told me that I had experienced an actual heat stroke and was lucky to even be alive. He also said it was wise for the people to pour the water on me when they did. The water had been sitting out in the garage and had reached room temperature, which actually saved my life. The doctor went on to say that had cold water been poured on me at that moment, my body would have went into shock and I would have died. Similar to when your car is overheating and you put cold water in the radiator, it'll crack. Now, he also gave me some tips to stay cool, which includes wetting my clothing for instant relief, wearing hats when outdoors, and most importantly, staying hydrated. That's very, very, very important. Now, because my body has reached temperatures that are not typical, I am now at risk for heat strokes for the rest of my life. I am grateful to be here. I'm glad I had the experience of a deeper peace, more than I've ever known, a calmness that was until then unimaginable. Please take this summer seriously. Stay hydrated. Keep water around at all times. And if you see someone suffering from a heat stroke, don't put cold water on them. Use room temperature water, soda, juice, or whatever you can get your hands on. Each one, teach one. Thank you so much for joining me as always. This is Miss N.D.E, and I'm out.